popping? What's up, guys? Oop, wrong screen. Hold up. Let me get the right screen going. Okay. What's up, guys? Am I good? Audio? It's not bugged. It's not fucked. You look good, bro. What's up? Whoa. Whoa. No, thank you, bro. What's up, DGK? All right, guys, let's go into it. So, yesterday I wasn't live. My apologies. Nah. I can't lie. I'm still jet lagged for my trip. Not feeling the best. And I was just knocked out. Fuck these 1 a.m. sessions. I'm so glad next week it goes back to 12. Nonetheless, I was still kind of watching the markets. Didn't really see much at all. Like nothing on NAS, nothing on DAX or UK 100. I was interested in sells. And the reason I was interested in sells is because I knew that we could pull a little bit deeper potentially. Nonetheless, didn't get a setup. Was waiting for some type of break out to the upside to potentially look for buys. I think we see something today. I did start off with the funded account. Yes, that's how I started. Now I'm live, mostly, but I also do still trade fundeds. Mostly with legacy, but I am going to start to focus on funded accounts a little bit more because I've just been mainly focused on my live account, to be honest. But I realize I could be making a lot more, truly. I just have always favored trading live, truly. But with us implementing NASDAQ during London and it moving fairly well, I might. Right? Obviously, this month we haven't seen as many setups, but the last 2 months I was seeing a decent amount of setups and stuff like that. So this month has been very iffy. Not the best price action. Some of the trades were happening earlier on DAX and UK 100. Let's go over the bias first before I start yapping away. Okay. All right. So first things first, UK 100. From an hourly standpoint, we see this first initial bearish leg here. We have definitely sold off deep enough, again, to continue down lower into these areas. But obviously, price could still rip higher. Why is it that color? All right. Price could still rip higher, okay, and continue to facilitate a deeper pullback. But nonetheless, from a higher time frame standpoint, we are now at a point where we're reacting off equilibrium. We could see price coming lower. So let's go to lower time frames. All right, first thing I'm seeing on lower time frames is we are still bearish, technically, right? And the reason I say that is because we haven't broken these highs. This isn't even really a significant high. I know it looks like we broke this high, but just looking at structure here, this was the last high technically, like technically speaking. Here, was it there? Here that led to a break of structure, and we never had a pullback all the way till down here. So I'm iffy about it, but nonetheless, I still think we could catch a trade potentially. I was initially looking for buys. Tell her pop it because I'm in it. Okay. But again, I was initially interested in buys, but we still have not broken this 15-minute high to confirm buys. Sells aren't really looking good either, just because I'd like to see some type of actual proper leg lower to play off of, meaning some type of proper break of structure of some type of strong lower high. But one thing is we do have Tokyo low sitting down here. I have a feeling we're going to sell off for some reason, but nonetheless, I really don't see an entry right now. We could see an entry later on, like breaking this low, looking for a pullback of that new low, and shooting down lower. Could be. Okay. Just because, again, from the higher time frame, we're pretty bearish. DAX, same type of scenario. Okay. Goes to the higher time frames, we see price facilitated a pullback. We know that we can sell off based off the hourly swing trend. Obviously, that doesn't mean we're going to, but we definitely can. We had a crazy wick here. We came back up, retested it, still reacted off of it. So I think we could definitely see some sells. All right, we're still technically bearish within this leg. The reason I could say that is because we had a decently significant pullback. We continue to drop lower. We try to break these highs, but we never did. Right? Obviously, it looks like price did come higher than that area, but we just wicked it, almost looking like we treated it as liquidity. We nonetheless still created a new low here. So I know that price can definitely still sell off. And again, I could say that until price breaks these highs strong. But we are still bearish. We'll see what we can capitalize on. Same thing. We have Tokyo lows down here. Trying to peep. I mean, I like that we broke here. If we have a pullback of this leg, sorry, I need water. Oh my god. Buddy, yeah. So, and also for you pitos, DAX and UK 100 is not on legacy, but I also do trade NAS. We're gonna go over NQ right now. I've been trading NQ during London. Haven't been doing too bad. Kind of just started this year, but we've been doing fairly well with it. Kind of slow sometimes. Obviously, it's London session, less volume, but we still see good volume. So stick around. We'll trade NQ as well. I think there's a setup on NQ I'm very interested in. Do you know the name of DAX? It should be DER. Just look up JER. Look up GER. Yeah, and it should be called DER.30 or something like that. So again, like the only thing I'm really interested in is potentially this pullback and a re-break of these lows, only because we have Tokyo low sitting down here. But nonetheless, we also can kind of see the structure looks oddly weird here, okay? Because we broke these lows from a swing standpoint, did come higher from in like an internal standpoint to create some type of internal bullish trend, and seemingly have been trending that way. So technically, a break of these lows would be nice to see, and then to play the pullback. But nonetheless, what could really hurt us there is we're taking such a strong area of liquidity. We could just take that liquidity and rip higher. That could be a possibility. But nonetheless, my overall higher time frame bias is for sells. So I think we can definitely capitalize on some sells. But I may play a little bit more patient and wait for that full break of structure of these lows to confirm that the actual internal price action is bearish. And take that risk of price potentially taking liquidity and going against us, just because if we just played a pullback of this leg here, we could end up taking sells at a re-break of these lows. Here, price comes down, stays valid within this bearish structure, bullish structure, and comes up and fucks us. I don't want to get fucked today. Okay. NQ though, let's look at NQ. So NQ's been very bearish, very, very bearish, and I'm expecting these lows to eventually be taken. You sure? Lormings, don't start. What's up, Lormings? So NASDAQ, obviously from this hourly standpoint, had a nice sell-off, had a pullback, and we're looking like we're continuing the sell-off. Okay. So 1 a.m. to start London hour session, like 6:30. Yeah. So it's this month, buddy. So this month only, it's London session opens at 1 a.m. for us. But after this week, going into next month, not even next month, going into basically next week, it will go back to 12 a.m. PST. So I'll go live at 11:45 p.m. PST instead of 12:45 a.m. PST. If that makes sense. So it's just because of the time change, daylight savings or whatever. I know, Luxy, I can't wait. Like this 1 hour difference actually has me fucked. My sleep is fucked. I'm just so much more tired, more out of it. Let's go back to the bias. So we saw internal price take a fucking shit. Okay. Obviously, from a 15-minute standpoint, let's look at it. Okay. We broke this last low here. Okay. This was our high. And when we broke this low, I got to sneeze. Oh my God. Try and hold it in. When we broke, there was no luck in that. Excuse me, guys. When we broke that last low, we never had a deep enough pullback. We never had a significant pullback. But nonetheless, we don't necessarily need one. But I'm still willing to play it because of the fact that, one, being that we did sell off prior to where we're sitting at now, we most likely, or we have a higher probability of playing this pullback than it is to continue to sell off. Yes, we're right near these lows where these lows are expected to be taken, and that definitely could happen. And if it does, maybe we can switch our bias and play down towards these lows. But what am I looking for specifically on the lower time frames? As we can see, price has started to shift internally here with some minor highs being broken. And then obviously we had a pullback. And within this internal structure, we're still making new highs. So depending on how obviously the 5 minute right now has facilitated a pullback within this new leg. What do I need to see? I need to see the 1 minute start trending. So as of right now, we're kind of seeing it starting to trend bullish, but I'd like to see a break of these highs. And seeing that, we could definitely play some type of pullback and then continuation off the 50% there. Just because, again, like Like the probabilities are in our favor. Obviously, like I did say, like I do expect these lows to be taken. What is it? Yeah, these lows to be taken. But again, we are starting to trend internally bullish within a 15-minute standpoint. If the 5-minute, which the 5 minutes kind of confirming, if the 1 minute gives us extra confirmation as far as that internal structure is also bullish, the probabilities sit towards buys 100%. Even though the hourly does call for price to sell off and take these lows eventually, doesn't mean it's going to happen today. Okay. So I've been getting DM from you on what, Discord? It's probably not me, my guy. Here, I'm going to send you a message right now. And that's me. That's me. If you're talking about Discord, yeah. Again, guys, like be careful with Discord, guys. Me, Mamba, Luca, Emmett, even Mark and Chris. There's a lot of fake accounts, guys. Be careful. Typically, I will not DM you first. And if I ever DM you guys first, I will let you guys know on my live stream. So you guys know it's me DMing you. Secondly, if you ever need to DM me for like an instant account. So if, like, again, if you guys need an instant funded account, the way to DM me is, again, go to the Discord. You can see my name on the right hand side. Just click my name and message me directly there. Okay. Because that's how you know that that is me. All right. Just because, again, like it's on the side. But yeah, DGK, everybody gotta be careful. Please DM me, Big Sexy. Damon, you can DM me if you want instant account. Yeah, guys, be careful. There was a couple people that got actually caught up in a scam. Like they were sending crypto to this one guy acting as me. I was like, wow. So be careful. All right. We always say we'll never DM you first. Okay. Unless I tell you. But let's see what happens here on NQ. Again, we could end up just trending lower. And if we do end up trending lower, we could just end up continuing to follow that overall trend lower. But I just have a feeling we are going to break higher. I really do. Okay. As far as DAX and UK 100, guys, we're about to see open. I'm not too interested in UK 100. Not really at all. From a 5-minute standpoint, we still need a pullback. Actually, it'd be from here. I think we got it. No. Still need a deeper pullback. Fire DGK. Again, you can always DM me for instant or... Give me a second. Or again, you can use my code. Oh, no, don't use that one. Yeah, there. You can use my code Nick for a little discount. But yeah, let's learn the London market. Again, like I love London. I live by London. It's my bread and butter. Not saying I haven't done good with New York or Asia, but typically speaking, London is like really where I thrive, I'd say. Especially, I mean, the markets that I do trade is DAX and UK 100. So they are going to move best during London, obviously. NQ, obviously NQ is an odd one where it's like, why are you trading NQ during London? I have had that question, but nonetheless, before I even started trading NQ during London, I made sure I had data on it and I made sure that there was actually good movement. And there was. We did good the first 2 months. This month, I don't even think we've taken really much trades at all. We had, I think, 1 win, maybe a loss. This week, we had a nice little push to 1-1. I got out at break even personally just because I was going for 1-2 and it came back before hitting that 1-2. But all right, see what happens. DAX selling off again. I kind of anticipated that sell off down into Tokyo lows, but nonetheless, I wouldn't have been able to sell just because, again, I got to follow my system, guys. I got to make sure I have that pullback and then that re-break of those lows because it just confirms that price is now trending. I mean, obviously it's trending internally, but actually showing a proper trend where we're having breaks, retests, and then continuous breaks. Okay. Just a lot better confirmation, a lot better probability to take those trades rather than just hopping clean in. Okay, UK 100 is going higher. We do have a lot of liquidity sitting up here. New York from yesterday, or New York from today, London from yesterday, even Tokyo up here. We had some a good chance to go bullish. And again, I am pretty bullish here, other than the fact that again we did hit the 50%, but we're still trending within the 30-minute and 15-minute bullish. Within this time frame, within this leg, we are still bullish. So therefore, that could be the reason why we are seeing a bullish reaction. I actually wanted to enter last night down here, but it was just too late. It literally like happened at 3, which is my cutoff. And 2, I wanted an extra confirmation, which would have been today. So, I mean, we could still end up taking buys here, guys. And the reason I could say that is if we break these highs, we could play a pullback. We could wait for price to pull back into a new leg that it creates, the new bullish leg that it creates. And we could potentially look to take some type of entry off 50% and continue to shoot up into these highs, which ultimately would be a way higher probability. Yeah, Sunday alarmings, it goes back. So nothing, not too much movement yet in NQ. I noticed NQ usually picks up, I would say around 1. It's already 1, but I'd say an hour into London Open. But we'll see. Again, this wick is not a break, guys. I need to see a proper closure of a candle, some nice displacement to the upside. This could just be a momentary reaction, some type of liquidation to send price lower within this 5-minute trend to facilitate that pullback. Okay. What I'm talking about is this trend here. We may come down, facilitate the pullback, and then see higher prices from there. Which, again, like, I don't think I would enter at 50% here, even though it is still pretty high probability. Because, again, like, being that this leg was created before London Open, I want to see London Open confirm with a new leg higher to then play that new leg. So, NQ selling off. We could end up playing this bearish leg. I'm just a little bit iffy on it, guys. I really am. I mean, granted, we need to take these lows, okay? So that definitely gives us some good confluences as far as we can still definitely continue bearish here. Let's peep the 4-hour. The daily, nice little topic. We have a gap sitting up here, though. See, that's where I'm a little bit iffy, guys. Like, I almost don't want to see price break lower, which it technically hasn't. It just took liquidity. This would actually be fucking fire. If we took liquidity like that, came up, broke higher, we're looking for buys, 100%. 100%. Buys are just a little bit more favored here because of this 5-minute swing trend, and also because we know that we need to pull back within this 15-minute leg or a 30-minute leg, whatever you want to consider it as. But that would actually be fucking amazing if we got that type of move. I'm not going to lie to you. How's your guys' week, though? Tell me. Good week, bad week? Nice reaction off this order block, too. That's fucking beautiful. I hope it rips here. I'll be ready. Hopefully. MNQ. Okay. Choppy ass week. Yeah, I know. I heard that from a lot of people. I heard a lot of people bad months. Me personally, bad month. Not like bad, but like not like anything crazy good. Just not a lot of setups. The setups I were taking were still very good setups. Happened to lose. Some ran back in my favor. But it seemed like setups are happening too early or too late, like the winning setups, and the lower probability setups are the one that ended up hitting. Yeah, I agree with you, Luxy. I agree with you. It looks like we're coming back down. Again, that could be the case here. We know we have Tokyo low sitting down here. That could be another confluence too to take sells potentially. So if we do finally see a nice break of this low, some nice displacement, we see a nice pullback, I may shoot here, guys, on sells. It's kind of a mixed bias. Like, I know I favor buys heavily, but if we're definitely going to show that we're bearish with some nice displacement to the downside, we're going to show that we're bearish. We're probably going to go bearish, okay? Especially because we still have the confluences from Tokyo lows as a nice area to target for liquidity, as well as the fact that the hourly is calling for a potential sell-off. But that good displacement. I feel like we're going to see this trade a lot faster than what I'm expecting. We could end up shooting here, guys. Excuse me. All right, we could end up entering sooner than later. Just be ready. And again, I'm willing to shoot twice here just because, again, like if price does fail. Oh, I hate these fucking things, dude. It never saves, dude. If price does technically fail, we know that buys still look strong. We can hop right back in buys if that's the case. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but if that's the case, that's the case. So we got it marked up. I like to see another candle closure like this too down here. And we still had really decently strong displacement, so. Oh, that's nice. DAX is selling, UK 100 starting to sell. Again, that's why I say you got to be patient, you got to wait. I'm not going to enter that 50%, but if we do end up coming down, reacting on 50%, making a leg higher, I will play that next leg higher, 100%. 100 fucking percent, especially because we have the first 2 hours of London session for me to actually go and place a trade. So. If we just end up ripping down, guys, into Tokyo lows, no pullback, and we take Tokyo lows and then we start having a pullback, I probably won't have a sell bias. And the reason is because after we take that liquidity, there's just a lot stronger chance that price is going to come down. Or let's say it takes liquidity, there's a very high chance it's going to come back up to seek some type of other sell side liquidity, which could be these highs. Where in that case, taking the sells wouldn't be worth it unless we're able to target Tokyo lows. So, Chris, what are you doing awake? Chris, we be missing you. Nonetheless, I mean, within the 15-minute leg, like within the 5-minute leg, we're bullish, but honestly, I'd actually want to see a break of these highs here, preferably, and then we play this entire 15-minute leg. So we got some time there. Should probably be paying attention, huh? Lots of beds for him, Toronto. Yo, appreciate you joining in. Again, it'll go back a little bit, like an hour earlier in the future. Discord not working again. For sure, tried everything to get on sound on. I'm sorry, George. But yeah, DGK, appreciate you hopping in. Again, you can always watch my YouTube videos, and then obviously the lives are always recorded if you ever want to get a little insight of how I'm treating London session. Let's go, DGK. All right, guys. I could be shooting sells here if we get that nice pullback. Again, all I need is price to come into the equilibrium. We've had some nice displacement lower. We still have liquidity lower. It'd be nice to see that pullback happen now. Get a WC next month for sure. Yes, sir. Thank you. I just hope if UK 100 does end up playing out, like it does end up coming higher and breaking these highs that I wanted to, I just have a feeling it's going to be in 2 hours, which again, like if it's my cutoff time, I can't trade no more. I can't trade no more. Like simple as that, guys. Like no if, ands, or buts about it. If it doesn't come within the first 2 hours, it is what it is. But I'll use it as data. Oh, I got to put on my headphones to listen to this. I don't even have them. Just type it AZZ because my headphones are in my bag. Kind of expect shop by default these days. I know, Lexi, it's pretty fucking sad. But again, nonetheless, like when it comes to UK 100 and DAX, like it's been moving fairly well. It's just a lot of setups are happening too early, like at 12 p.m. PST, or too late, like almost creeping into New York, which again, like I'm always keeping track of that, right? Like, because if this is something that I continuously, like we continue to see, like it could just be this month, right? Not like kind of a theory. My theory behind it is, being that we're opening an hour later, there's still a lot of people trading at 12 a.m. PST. Therefore, that's why we're seeing a lot of trades earlier. As far as the later trades, obviously that doesn't really have to do with the daylight savings times and the time change. But again, data is so important, because if I continue to see these trends continue to happen, me trading the first 2 hours may be adjusted. I may trade the first 3 or 4 hours if it goes to show that the data and the trades that are happening after those times are actually winning, and they're winning at a percentage or a rate where I would actually profit from it rather than not profit from it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, again, like data is super important, even if you're not taking trades, guys, and you're seeing your setup play out later or earlier. Again, like obviously focus on your session. I'm not going to switch anything based off of 1 or 2 trades, but if I get weeks worth of data that something's continuously happening, then at that point it's most likely a trend that's probably going to continue to happen. Therefore, I need to adjust, adapt, and make sure that I'm actually capitalizing. So I'm correct to say you trade retracements and modern trades breakouts. Sorry, very new trading. Yeah, Pietos, I guess you can say. There is times where I do trade breakouts, and it just depends. It really does depend. The reason that I'm willing to play this like retracement, I guess you could say, is because we created this leg, this new low, during... Actually, I don't even know if I like this. We'll talk. Hold on. I'll come back to you, Pietos. I'm not sure if I like this. Like, we have decent structure to play off of here. But nonetheless, again, this is what I always talk about, guys, is we have this overextended leg here that never had a proper pullback based off where its first break of structure was, which technically, like its first actual proper break of structure was down here. This was just all internal chop, right? So therefore, if we were to actually play a pullback, it'd be the pullback of this entire leg here itself, right? This entire 1 minute leg, because we never had a pullback into 50%. See, that's the thing I don't like. I'm glad I picked that up. I may not enter sells, guys. But going back to you, Pietos, yes, in most cases it is retracements. But let's say before London Open, a bullish leg is created, okay? But it still gives me the proper pullback. But since that leg was created before London Open, meaning that in this case, it's a little bit less of a chance, still not like a bad, like negative chance, still good probabilities that price is going to continue in that direction. But I do wait for a breakout in these cases, because of the fact that it just gives me extra confirmation that not only was price previously bullish before London Open, it facilitated a pullback and is re-breaking highs, and that kind of gives me confirmation that price should continue within that general direction. But again, if a leg is made during London, then that's where I will be a little bit more aggressive, because that tells me London is seemingly wanting to go that direction, and I will take a entry at the 50% here. But again, like I said, I can't say it's going to be a no trade day, because we still have damn near 2 hours. Obviously, I'm not going to be here for 2 hours, guys, because it's already late as fuck. But it's just based off structure. Like, I think sells definitely could play from that original position we're looking at, but I don't want to get caught in a fucked trade. And I feel like that could be the case here, guys. Like, we could see price just kind of blow through this, come a little bit deeper, and then potentially sell off. But nonetheless, like, I'm expecting buys. And I told you guys I was expecting buys from the get-go just because of the bullish structure here, and because we also need that pullback on the higher time frames. So I was ready. Gold buys today or sells? Any thoughts? Yeah, let me peep it. I hate gold, but I'll still look at it. So I'm kind of anticipating some sells here. Okay. Let me go a little bit higher time frames. Yeah, I'm anticipating some sells. So I look at gold a little bit differently. I still use the same ideas as far as like how I identify structure. and like candle patterns. But like I'm not big on candle patterns in the sense like I don't enter on candle patterns, sorry. But I use them to give me early signs on what price could be doing. As you can see, for the past 3 hours, or these 3 hours, we did not want to go higher. Had a lot of top wicks, had a lot of resistance, had a lot of exhaustion. So therefore, I could assume that price is now more likely to continue down, have some type of pullback before coming back up higher and creating that new high. If it does even want to create that new high, just because it tells me that sellers were definitely taking back control of the market and buyers weren't really doing much. And as we go to lower time frames, we can look for obviously liquidity points like Tokyo lows, which is a strong area of liquidity. And we could assume that, okay, this is a very good target. Price came up, had this nice bullish trend, but nonetheless, where's our next area of liquidity? Either down here or up here. But the reason, again, I mean, it could come up here, but the reason I'm kind of straying away from it is just based on how the hourly looked. Didn't really give us a lot, didn't really tell us that price wanted to come higher, at least not yet. So therefore, we could ultimately assume that sells may be the case for gold. So we are selling off. Even if we had price still marked up, it never hit equilibrium. UK 100 is tanking. Again, I'm glad I did not take this, guys. Obviously, there was nothing to take, but again, I hope you guys didn't take it, even though we broke these highs here. But nonetheless, again, like we just wicked them. I like sometimes, you know, I am aggressive and we'll just take a first break of a high, even if it does end up wicking it. But we just didn't have the probabilities here, guys. I'm just waiting for this 5-minute reaction off of this like 5-minute bullish trend. But then again, like as soon as we break these highs, this is now considered like a swing high. Oops, sorry. This is considered a swing high. And this is considered an internal like high, I guess you could say. So therefore, once we break these highs, I now have to technically play the whole swing leg of that new break of structure rather than that internal leg, if that makes sense, guys. Did gold sell? Yeah, it started to. DAX dipped, guys. I told you guys DAX was going to dip. I told you, I just had that instinct. Again, we had really good liquidity sitting down below. We know that price has already facilitated a pullback on the higher time frames. Yes, we're still within this internal bullish leg, but nonetheless, again, we had really good liquidity. We know that we could have shot down here. There was just no setup, no entry, nothing that I like to look at, truly, or that I like to trade. What is NAS doing? Lord knows. It's coming down, which again, that's fine. The reason it could be coming down is because it finally wants to just take these lows and get it over with. And that's fine. Again, like we knew that was a possibility, but nonetheless, there was really no setups because the internal structure showed a little bit more bullish than anything. And if I would to have sold, I would have waited for a deeper pullback within this bearish swing leg to then feel a little bit more confident with that overall sell-off, because just the probabilities weren't really sitting in our favor too heavily for sales, just because of lower time frame structure. The idea that price could facilitate a pullback of the 15-30 minute leg, but nonetheless, again, like just because it's a higher probability doesn't mean those probabilities are going to play out. All right, that's why it's a probability. But we dumped. I have a feeling I'm going to get a trade on UK 100, guys, but it really depends on how fast price keeps moving. I mean, we're 20 minutes into market. If we just end up ripping up here in the next hour, potentially I could see a buying opportunity, potentially. Okay. But nonetheless, we'll see. We'll see. Price could end up dumping here and flipping, which if that's the case, that's the case. Because again, from this 15-minute standpoint, this is the 15-minute leg we're playing. One, it could facilitate a deeper pullback. And two, it could be ready to fully fucking sell off due to the fact that the hourly, again, is very much bearish. Let me peep it. I mean, I think you could still sell. I just like based off my system, I don't like anything within here. We're like super choppy here. Okay. And two, it's just not the best structure. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that I still have a directional bias that sales will take place just based off my analysis. But again, like I can have a directional bias and not have a setup. So, and that's the case there. NASDAQ is still being NASDAQ, guys. See, if we do end up continuing lower and breaking these lows here, we could play this new 5-minute leg and look for some type of pullback entry within the 1 minute. So like, let's say we do end up breaking here, we could wait for some type of change of direction and then just play that pullback. So if I had to just go to sleep, I know I'm tempted to, guys. I just feel like there's gonna be a setup today. I really do, guys. I'm so tempted. Again, like if you guys are in my personal Discord, I'll let you guys know if I take a setup, of course. But obviously if you guys are in stream, sucks. When do you think it'll come next? Nah. I mean, it could realistically, Lormings, but what am I expecting now that price is definitely showing it wants to go bearish on NAS is I'm expecting a new low here, but that doesn't mean like that new low could be a deep push. But after that deep push happens, what can we expect? Obviously, we can expect a potential pullback before price does continue lower within that trend. So therefore, if that's the case, all we're going to have to wait for after that break is some type of shift in direction, breaking some type of strong 1 minute high to then shoot back up and to facilitate that pullback of that new 5-minute bearish leg. So I don't think it'll be the next 15 minutes. I genuinely think for NASDAQ, 30 minutes, possibly. UK 100, an hour. Potentially, unless price just starts running. But again, like same thing with UK 100. I still need it to make a new high. Like I still need it to make a new high within this 15-minute leg. And then based off that, I would then have to wait for another pullback of that new leg, which in this case, if we make that new leg during London, I'll still enter at the 50%. Obviously, we'll go for a 1-1 to jump, or for a break even, and then 1-2 for the rest of our trade. So we'll see if that even happens, guys. It may not even happen. That's why confirmation is key. That's why waiting is key, guys. I kid you not. Like if you guys are having a problem when it comes to like being disciplined, waiting, like the best thing, the best advice I can give you, and that I give to a lot of my students, have a plan, have a system, have something. Like obviously I'd say like have a full-on fledged system that you follow day in, day out. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's the ultimate goal. But if you're new, you're struggling, you're like, what's a system? I don't even know how to build one. Again, that's why there's so many streamers like me, Mark, Chris, Luca. You can follow what we do. It's not hard to pick up on what we do. Because again, like I'm coming here and I'm breaking down everything day by day. These lives are recorded. You can go back and just figure out, okay, like he's waiting for a break of structure. He's waiting for a pullback. But obviously it goes a little bit deeper. Higher time frame analysis, making sure that higher time frames are in alignment, which in most cases just give me a higher probability or lower probability on certain trades. And that's what it's about. It's about understanding probabilities, because you're never going to be 100% correct. You like there's a chance you have the highest probability trade possible based off your system and you still fucking lose. I dropped a video on that. Like taking an A+ setup, but I still lost. Why? Because at the end of the day, you're not guaranteed to win, but then that's where you have risk management too. Okay. But again, like the biggest way to like stop over trading, stop over risking. All good, bro. Surprised you woke up for this stream. George, I'll beat your ass. Yeah, I'm surprised too, though. It's because I was already awake. Sorry, ADHD. Going back to what I was saying. Have a system. It'll allow you to really just focus on the process and just actually following and doing what you need to do, rather than, oh, I'm entering because I want to make money. I'm entering because of this. I'm entering because of that. I'm entering because this guy said so. Yes, a lot of you guys here are to take. You're here to take signals. Like most of you guys are probably here to learn, but some of you guys are probably here to take signals. But if you're going to take signals, at least do your best to try to understand what he's doing, why he's doing it, so you're not just entering blindly. Truly. But NAS is finally going to break these lows, which I'm hoping it does, so we can play a potential pullback. DAX ripped, UK 100 ripped. Thanks for the advice, champ, of course, Marcus. Again, like, that's why we're here. Why did it fucking disconnect? I only trade Forex, but I'm using to learn indices. Well, that's the thing, is, like, I trade UK 100 and DAX, Marcus, on Forex, on a Forex broker. If you want, I can even send it to you. This is what I mainly trade. I trade my live account. I trade a Forex broker, and this is where I trade. NASDAQ, I do sometimes trade on my live account because you can still trade NASDAQ on Forex. It's just spread is definitely an issue sometimes. And then, but I also trade legacy. So, but again, like that, I started in Forex. I use the same thing. Like when I do trade Forex, which has been very rare lately, but when I do trade Forex, I use the same type of system. Like I can already see something right here. Like just within this hourly time frame, what did we see? We had price trending, had a pullback, had a break, had a pullback, had a break. We could identify that we had this new bullish leg here, drew up the fib, entered at the 50%, stops at the low, TP at the high. Yeah, this would have only been a 1-to-1, but it's still a W trade. It still follows the same exact system at a higher time frame too. Even within these lower time frames too, what can we see? Price broke these lows. Oops. Price had a pullback, broke these lows, had a pullback, broke these lows, and that's where price came deep enough to now finally go back within that bullish direction. So why did I switch from Forex indices? I just think Forex did get slower. It was more, any books or resource you would follow to also learn. Trading in the Zone is one book everyone reads. Sorry, Joris, I'll come back to you. I just have ADHD. Or resource you would also follow, like YouTube videos, PSOs. I got YouTube videos. Go check out my YouTube channel. I'll link you one. Everybody has a lot of content. I would recommend instead of ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can only do so much. I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying I don't use AI, but I'll explain to you how I use AI. So when it comes to using AI, what I do is I only use AI to see, that's one of my YouTube videos, but I only use AI for data, meaning I'll go and download all my data and put that into AI in order to refine and to give me a better analysis. Obviously, I can do it myself, but AI is so smart. Why would I not be using it to my advantage to tell me, in some cases, where I could be making more money, where am I losing most of my money? Because again, like I'm always looking to refine and like work on things. Like even when it comes to getting future data, I'm plugging that in because when it comes to using that for AI, it tells me, okay, out of the last 10 trades that I tracked, let's say they were all back-tested trades, right? In the sense of like changing my trading hours. Out of the 10 trades that were out of my trading hours, 6 of them won, 4 of them lost. So it tells me that more of them have won than I've lost. Obviously, have a bigger RR on the winners than they are the losers. So therefore, it could show that it's worth it, right? I wouldn't use AI to solely learn. Obviously, it can definitely help you with the beginning stuff, but it can only go so far when it comes to actually trading. Like that's why a lot of people fail with bots, because again, like at the end of the day, like it's not necessarily like a guaranteed return. It's not like, I mean, I can't say it's not a guaranteed return. I know people who have made money with bots, but it's so different, and the markets require, I feel like, human behavior and human reaction in some way, shape, or form. I know they say trade like a robot, but nonetheless, like you still need to be able to react based off certain things that are happening at that time that bot may not be able to pick up. So, Joris, so why did I switch from Forex indices? A lot of it was just, one, when it came to Forex, I was definitely more of an intraday trader, more like intraday swing trade, where I'd play like bigger moves, longer moves, and they were still playing out. But I realized I could do the same thing on indices within a certain period of time, catch the same amount of trades, and honestly make more money. So Forex kind of got slow, kind of got a little bit choppy. Obviously, I still see setups and stuff like that, but once I switched to UK 100 and DAX, I started backing out, and I started to realize like I don't necessarily need to be trading Forex as much as I did, if anything, because I mean it was just running so good. And we could see a setup right now, guys, but I doubt we're going to see one. I feel like we're going to sell off a little bit more, but once we break like one of these highs here on the 1 minute, I am willing to play the pullback of this new 5 minute low, because we did technically break these lows. So but I just have a feeling we're not going to do that yet. I mean, we could, because we technically did break it. But I'd like to see, we had decent displacement, like a decent candle closure, but I'd like to see a little bit more displacement to the downside, to be honest with you. But if we get the setup, we get the setup. Yeah, makes sense. I'm in forex trade nowadays. More than 2 hours. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, that's a big reason why I did end up going to indices, just because that's less likely to happen. I can't say that there has been some trades where I am sitting in it within a couple hours, but I'm fine with that because at the end of the day, I took it within my session time. I know that there's still going to be volume throughout the day into New York. And as long as I took a quality setup that's part of my system, in theory, like speaking like probabilities, it's more likely to hit than it's not, right? And that's why having an edge is so important because, again, like we're not here to gamble. We're not here to like full port. We're not here to just get a 50-50 odds. Obviously, your win rate doesn't necessarily have to be 50% to still be profitable. But at the end of the day, we're trading because we know that we can have some type of statistical edge where we're more likely to win than we are to lose, truly. But again, like there's even some cases where I'll have a month. Oh, sorry, Siri. There's some cases where I will have a month where I have less than a 50% win rate, but I still made money that month because at the end of the day, it's really about risk management and your RR. It is. So just keep that in mind. And that's something that I love about trading too, is the fact that your win rate you can have more losses than wins and still make money, right? Obviously your goal, I can't say your goal should be to win more than you lose because that's unrealistic in some people's cases, depending on your system. But if you can get your system to where you're winning more than you lose and you have really good risk to reward, you're going to be making a lot of fucking money. Well, obviously you can fluctuate month to month, depending on the month, depending on how good price was. So just keep that in mind. I have a feeling we're going to sell off a little bit more, guys. I truly do. DAX and UK 100, I'd say it's out of the picture as of right now, unless the 15-minute rips, but I would have to see a nice move within the next hour because obviously from there on out, I only have 30 minutes left to take a trade. I'm not going to take a trade out of session until my data shows that it's worth it. Honestly, want price to sell off here, guys, a little bit more. Like I would prefer that than rather taking these buys. I'm not saying these buys would be premature, but they could be in some sense. So, but we did take Asia lows, so it is a fire setup. I can't lie. Took Asia lows, could react higher. Like I'm willing. I'm going to bed next. See you next week. Yes, sir. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining up. Okay, guys, I'm about to drop a vlog, guys. Go sub to the YouTube channel right now. Go click my name. Go sub to YouTube. Be ready. There's going to be a giveaway in there. I look, you still got to edit most of it. I can't lie. I got busy today. But it should be done tomorrow. And post it tomorrow. Also, if you click my name, you can join my free community where at times, again, like if I'm off stream, but I'm still within my trading hours, I will still be looking at the markets. I just don't want to stream for 2 hours. I'll be honest with you guys. Again, I give you guys a certain amount of time. Nice, we're selling off. Again, like we could be taking these sells, guys, down lower. But at the end of the day, we already made this new low. Yes, we can continue lower, and this is a very prime example of the fact. But we also just took Tokyo lows, which could be a reaction point that could have caused price to fly up here, and we could have taken this loss. Nonetheless, again, like this is still something I'm going to go back and get data on because obviously we're still continuing to trend in some way, shape, or form on the 1 minute where we would have had two at least one-on-ones at this point. And, that could be something that is, again, like in my favor, in my case, it's not as high as a probability rather than just waiting for price to change character. Because I think when we change character and we have higher time frame alignment to go bullish in this case, it's a lot higher probabilities rather than continuously breaking structure after making a new low. Obviously they say trade within the trend. Yes, blah, 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 blah. But there's never any real such thing as trading within the trend, like fully. In some way, shape, or form, you're always going to be counter trend on a higher time frame. Like again, in this case, what are we? We're bearish. Okay, I might be wrong there now. But the daily time frame, we're bullish from a swing standpoint, right? So in that case, we're counter trend to the daily, which obviously it's the fucking daily. And technically, we are counter trend to the 1 hour still too. We have this bullish push. We have not broken these lows yet. We're still bullish within the hourly. So we're counter trend to the hourly, but we're trading within the trend if we were to go bearish within the 1 minute and 5 minute. So again, I'd be surprised if we go a lot lower before New York open. Yeah. Same. I'm just waiting for this first break of this high, guys, truly. That's all I'm waiting for. Once we get that, we can shoot potentially. If we get that, but again, like price, nothing says it has to facilitate that pullback now. And obviously that's almost like not necessarily hypocritical for me to say, but that like counteracts what I had said about me waiting for a buy rather than selling due to the probability aspect. Because again, if I'm going to say that price can continue to sell, what you would think, why am I not continuously selling? Again, at the end of the day, we have a lot of confluences that are giving me the idea that price may not sell much longer. Therefore, I just rather wait. And if price is going to sell and let's say it does give us another entry point right here, like let's say price did create this new 1 minute low, let's say it pulls back and then continues lower, and there was 3 opportunities that we could have capitalized on within here, then okay. Like that is going to be data that tells me I can take these trades a little bit more confidently, even if there's some confluences and even if there's a higher time frame bias that kind of goes against it. At the end of the day, we're still trading on the minute. We can still definitely take it. But nonetheless, if it goes to show like next week, we have the same situation where price breaks and makes a new low and it looks like it's a good sell, but it ends up buying up. That's an example on why sometimes it's better to wait, because in that case, we would have lost. Even though we won today, sometimes I do say that winning can be worse than losing sometimes. Because at the end of the day, sometimes winning something that you're not necessarily too familiar with or confident with when it comes to like the probability of a trade could give you like a false sense of reality in something that doesn't work long term. So again, like if you like, that's the biggest thing with breaking your system too. You break your system one day and you happen to win, you winning is worse than you losing, because you're going to think that it's okay to continue to break your rules and continue to take setups that aren't going to work long term. That is not okay. Right. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with, even a lot of students struggle with. But that's the first thing I tell my students is, look, you took this trade. It wasn't part of the system. You won. Don't let that get to your head. Or let's say they lost. I'm going to tell them, good. I'm glad you fucking lost because you didn't follow the system. And I would have rather you lost here and known that this was not something that you need to continue to do rather than continuously doing this because at that moment you're winning, you know? Again, like it's the truth. Coda, I'm glad you're in here. What is a mind if you can't change it? Exactly. But again, that's stuff that I live by, guys. Like that's how I take in my trading day by day is, again, if there's no trades, if this has been a horrible week, a bad month when it comes to price action setups, not just for London, for New York, for Asia, it's just been slow. It has been weird. It could be a lot of, like the war going on, right? The fundamental aspect of things. And that's something that, again, I'm still getting data on. I'm getting data on the fact that March was not that good. A lot of it could have been due to the fundamental aspect of things. So it's like next time around, there's a fucking war. If I start seeing the same patterns, the same, pattern recognition, maybe I de-risk. Maybe I'm a little bit more hesitant taking A+ trades. But even the A+ trades we've taken this month have not been winners. The B trades have been winners. Again, it is what it is. That's trading at the end of the day. But again, like I'm really only interested in NAS, guys. I think we could see something within the next 20 minutes. I'm getting a little bit tired, but let's see what happens. Again, like we have now displaced a little bit lower, so I actually like that. And even if we were to continue higher, like let's say off this order block, which I'm not even really paying attention to much at all. But let's say we do continue higher off that, I don't care, because again, that is ultimately going to give us an extra push in the sense that we're looking for buys anyways once we get a break of structure. Thank you for staying awake with us, of course. Again, like it's just been hard for me like this fucking month just because, like again, like the other day I was like, am I being a fucking bitch? Because like I've just been like, that 1 hour difference is only an hour, but it's like at the same time it's a fucking hour. Like I'm typically on stream 11:45 p.m. PST, boom. But having to wait a whole extra hour to go live, I'm just like dead. Especially because like I'm trying to go to sleep at a decent time. See what happens here, guys. We're either gonna come back, pull back, and react lower. Oops. I hope I can't draw for shit. No, it was weird, Luxy. When I got into Asia, I really had no jet lag. And I think it was because like my sleep schedule was already fucked. Meaning like I already went to sleep. Like my sleep schedule was already on their such schedule. So I think that helped. Like significantly. And then I think it was just like, you know, obviously you're in a new country, you're in a new place, you want to go explore, you're not as tired, you're more enthusiastic, you want to go adventure off and, you know, a little bit more excited, you know. Getting back, Lord. Like I'm happy to be back and start grinding a little bit harder and actually being able to like go live every single day. Obviously yesterday I didn't go live, guys, sorry about that. Tired as fuck, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, said I had something to do. I was fucking dead. I was knocked out. For some reason, it's always worse when we fly east. I wonder why. Like one thing I noticed, like it was weird. Like usually when like cause I've traveled within the U.S. like a lot, and every time I travel, I always lose my appetite. When I traveled to Asia, I was fine. Pietos, where did you travel to? How was it? I traveled to Asia. I traveled to Thailand. Stayed there for about 2 weeks. It was nice little, you know, culture shock, culture change. It was just a cool experience. My girl wanted to go, so I was like, fuck it, let's go. But again, I went for 2 weeks. It was fun. I wish I would have got more content out there, but nonetheless, like I didn't really go for content. I just went to have like a nice little trip. Buys on DAX, let's peep it. I mean, I have no area to buy from. If you were to play the 1 minute, which I personally never trade the 1 minute on DAX, if we get a break of these highs, like you could potentially go and shoot for a pullback of this bearish leg, 100%. But when it comes to DAX UK 100, I typically never go to the 1 minute. Banging in Bangkok. Joris, I'm not you, right? I'm not you, Joris. Now, honestly, like Bangkok was nice. It was actually like very clean, very modern. But there was just so much traffic, so fucking much. I thought LA had a lot of traffic. Fuck no. I'll never talk shit on LA again. Bangkok was horrible. And thankfully we had a driver, because if not, I would have crashed. I'm a good driver, but it's just like bumper to bumper out there. Like brake checking left and right. I'm like, goddamn. Yeah, it's bad, Luxy. Did you ride a bike? No, I actually didn't. I didn't. We had a driver for a bit, and then like sometimes we take like these little like they're called tuk-tuk carts or some shit like that. It's like a little like just like a cart, like a carriage thing. But that was when we were like more inner city and we weren't going too far. All right, let's see what happens here, guys. We did initially react off 50%, but we could be at a point where, again, price may have that initial reaction, fake some people out, and then break these highs. And again, once we break those highs, as long as we don't just fucking fly, we're going to be looking for some type of pullback and entry. But again, price could have just been coming up to fill the rest of this imbalance to continue its sell-off. If it does end up breaking these lows, I'm probably going to get off stream, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop trading. Again, if we do break these lows, this is my next high that I'm going to look for price to break. Obviously, we may never come back to break that during this session. The likeliness of that, very, very fucking low. Very low. But nonetheless, we do still have room to continue with this bearish trend, being that we're in a bearish trend. I just would preferably wait for that pullback entry because it's a little bit higher probability for me. And especially this month, I'm going to trade probabilities. Yeah, have you had enough time to see everything or not? I see most people go to Thailand at least a month to explore. Honestly, probably not everything. We did a lot. Yeah. But I feel like there was maybe a couple things, like not a lot of things. I think if I was there for a month, we would have definitely done everything within the first 2 weeks if we were like focused on it, everything that we knew of that we would be interested in. And then after that, it would just be more like locked in grind, streaming, and just enjoying the life out there. Truly. I've been to Thailand 2-3 times, 3 weeks at a time. Yeah. Like when you say see everything, like, yes, if you want to go and like see a bunch of different towns, a bunch of different attractions. But like going back to Joris, like I feel like we still did a decent amount based on what we actually wanted to do. The only thing that we didn't do was we didn't go and like to feed elephants or like chill with elephants, whatever it is. But that was because we wanted to go to Bangkok and explore Bangkok for a bit. So we just said, fuck that. But we still got to do some cool stuff. Went on a yacht. Saw some monkeys. Got to hold some monkeys. Well, they just kind of jumped all over you and shit. You guys will see it in the vlog. My hop off, don't expect too much out to expansion, but hope you catch a dub before bed. Thank you, Lexi. Yeah, if we just expand lower, guys, again, buy still stays the same as far as I'm waiting for those buys. Again, like you guys could have definitely taken these sells on the way down, 100%. But just because we are seeing these sells happening doesn't mean I'm regretting anything. It just means, again, like price is clearly still trending bearish. Yes, we could have capitalized on them, but nonetheless, we have a higher probability to go bullish here. And if we do go bullish and we show those breaks of structure, then yes, of course, I'm going to go bullish and shoot for buys. But since we're not seeing that, again, like I'm still going to go back probably tomorrow in my journal, back test section, and back test these trades. Okay, maybe there was something I didn't see. Granted, I pretty much looked at everything other than the fact that, again, like I could have still continuously traded within the trend. And even let's say we did lose. Let's say we did lose like after price broke here. Let's say we took, sales here, or even say we took sales here at this pullback. Let's say price loss. Realistically, we could have got back in buys if price would have broke structure and probably back down and win. So it wouldn't have mattered. But nonetheless, I would have rather just waited for that, I guess you could say, optimal entry based off my system, just because this week and this month has not been the best. A little bit choppy, a little bit slow, a little bit indecisive. Nonetheless, I think I'm out of here, guys. Again, to go over the bias real quick, if we see a break of these highs, I'm waiting for a pullback into equilibrium, and I'm going to enter equilibrium to shoot higher for 1 to 2. If we end up breaking these lows before breaking these highs, if we break these lows first, all that means is this is our new high of that new bearish leg. So we would just wait for that new high to be broken. Same thing, equilibrium entry. Nice shoot for 1 to 2. Okay. So super simple, super easy. DAX and UK 100 definitely had a nice sell off today. Nothing that I could have capitalized on. For DAX and UK 100's sake, I'm probably not going to take anything. That being said, guys, I'll see you next week. Thankfully, it'll be back to 11:45 p.m. PST. Again, if you guys are in my personal Discord, if I do enter anything, I'll probably let you guys know, unless I just pass the fuck out. But I think I'll be up for a little bit. So that being said, I'm out of here. If you guys also instant accounts, instant funding accounts, get them. We got a lot of people buying them, a lot of people getting them. Okay, it's a real. Oh, are we gonna get no? It's a really good opportunity. Again, just fuck the evaluation phase. Just go right to it. Or again, if you guys do want to go through the evaluation to prove to yourself that you can pass it, again, let me send this to you. Again, you can go and use code Nick for a 50% discount. So that being said, it looks like we're getting bullish expansion. Should I wait? I'm tired. Nonetheless, you guys know the bias. Okay, I'll be in my personal Discord, calling anything I take if I do take anything. So we'll see if price does break these highs. See you guys next week. Wait, hold on. Not gonna lie, I had sales in UK 100 from 1,000, but back to when I see new market buys. Damn, George. All right, guys, I'm out here. Discord. Damn, George. Again, like, don't ever allow me, George, like one piece of advice, to change your bias, because at the end of the day, like, I could say I'm not always going to be 100% correct, but that is just based off probabilities, right? So at the end of the day, like even though I was looking for buys, I would only take buys if I got the confirmation, and that is only that markup and that analysis is only based off my higher time, or is only based off my personal opinion and probabilities. But that doesn't mean that there's not still probabilities for sells to take place. So therefore, again, if there's a possibility for sells to take place, shoot, because your system may call for a different type of entry or a different type of way of looking at the markets, where again, you could have a winning day, and I could have a losing day, right? If I would have took buys, obviously I would have lost, but I didn't get entry. If you would have took sells, you would have won, but I didn't get entry. So still take those sells. Again, if you have a bias, shoot. I always say that, like, come in here, learn, get a second opinion, but don't always allow that second opinion to change your overall confidence in a trade, because if you have confidence in a trade, you probably have that confidence for a reason, because it's your system. And nonetheless, in your mind, that has more probabilities to hit. Even if it doesn't, like, statistically speaking, have more probabilities, there is still some way, shape, or form some type of probabilities to back up taking those sells, which in this case they did play out. So I'm out of here, George. Amazing. Later, YouTube. You guys are awesome. Again, instant funding accounts, or you guys can go use code Nick using that link for 15% off a regular account. I only had a small stop loss, so I should have held it, but all good. Lesson learned. Yeah, it's a good lesson. So that being said, I'm out here. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys next week.